Hi folks, this is Karim Raouf from IoT Visualizer channel. Today we'll continue our lab, the COVID-19 lab. This is the video number 20. We have been discussing in the previous video the following. We have been preparing, or we are planning to make something called one key recovery image partition. Okay, so what is this, or what is the operation of making something called one key recovery image partition? We all know that there is some system crash and boot failure are common issues encountered by computer users. So if you are using Lenovo, Dell or HP or Toshiba computer, you can find out a built-in system backup and recovery program on your device. So there is an option in the branded PCs like Lenovo, Dell and HP. If the system is crashed or down, you can restore an image, a reserved image, or an image that is hidden on a partition, okay, by the HP, and it will restore this image. So if the system is crashed, you just press F11 and there is an image that it is saved on a partition hidden by the HP manufacturer. This will restore the image. So there is a built-in recovery system built on the Dell and HP and Toshiba. So what if we need to have this system on our non-branded laptops or desktops? So for example, you need to have a recovery system. If the system is crashed on one of your PCs or laptops, you just click on F11 and it will restore a reserved image or a saved image on the local hard disk of the PC or the laptop, and it will return this image and make the user work on the restored image. So how we can do this? We use something called AOMAI one key recovery software. This software will back up our system and will have back up our system and put the image on a partition, and this partition will be hidden from the user, and then it will insert a key, okay, before the booting of the operating system, something like F11. So when your system fails, you press F11, it will go to the partition that this software has taken an image of the operating system and put it on this partition. It will go to this partition and the image stored on this partition and restore it back. So this is what we have been discussing in the previous video. We have been using something called AOMEI one key recovery software, and it is a free version. It is limited somehow. It's not fully opened, or it's not a full version, but the free version is enough to do what we are planning to. So in this video, this we have been discussing in the previous video. In this video we will do something like this, but without using a third-party software. We will use the Windows itself. So there is a way that we can do the same process but using the Windows operating system. It will not be as easy as this software, but it will do the trick. So let's see how we can do this using the Windows operating system. We will do it using a PowerShell script or a script, and using some technique. I will discuss it now. So let's begin and see. So you will open the VM Workstation Pro. All we need to do for creating or for doing, I will call it a recovery image partition using the Windows operating system, we need to have an ISO image of a Windows operating system. Okay, so for example, let's be Windows 10 20H2 DVD installation. We need this DVD because we'll take a copy of it and work on it, and we need to work or type some commands. So let's see how this will be done. Here we will go and do this operation on the first virtual machine which have Windows 10 operating system 20H2 on it. We will just increase the RAM for this virtual machine. So because it will need, the process will need a lot of RAM, so we will power on the virtual machine, and then we will log into the Windows operating system, and then we will insert the ISO image or the DVD image containing the Windows 10 20H2 operating system, and we'll take a copy of it, and I will show you all where we will put it. So now we are logging in locally, not through the domain. on the machine. So let's see now. So it will take a little bit of time. We can just run it very quickly. So here we will open this PC, and first we need to insert the DVD of the Windows 10 20H2. So let's do this. Just a moment. Here, just I need to show you all something here. We have created, or we have inserted, an additional hard disk, and we make this hard disk as one partition, and we will name it recovery partition. This we have done in the previous video. In this partition we will put our system recovery image, so we will insert it here. Okay, we will put it here, and this is the DVD of the Windows 10 20H2. So we will take a copy of this DVD and put it in the recovery partition. Okay, and put it in the recovery partition. So this partition will contain, okay, the recovery image and the will contain this DVD of Windows 10 20H2. Let me show you all what I mean by this, but wait for a second. So here we will go and copy this DVD and put it here. Okay, so let's wait and see. First of all, I need to take two scripts from my laptop and put it to this virtual machine, or insert it, or put it to the virtual machine here, because these scripts we will use to make our recovery image or recovery partition. Okay, so here we will take two scripts, COVID-19, and then we have two scripts, something called recovery text and recovery.bat. So this is the two that we need, plus the Windows 10 20H2 DVD. This all what we need to make a recovery image a recovery image of our operating system. Let's see what I mean by this. So here we have copied the two scripts, then we need to go and copy the DVD. First of all, I'm just deleting some software. So here, this is the script, and actually it is very simple. What we will do after having our recovery image, or after taking an image of this operating system and put it in the E partition, which is our recovery partition, this script will tell the Windows that if you need to restore the operating system image, you need to go to the E partition. Okay, and it will boot from this partition and install this image, or recover this image. So this is basically what the script will do. So let's wait and see how this script will help us. But first of all, we need to copy the DVD. So first of all, what we need to do, we need to first insert, I think we have already inserted the Windows 10 DVD. So now what we will do here, we will go and go to the disk management, click and disk management. Here we can see that this is the E partition. Okay, I need it to be, or let's see here, I need it to be smaller, because our recovery image will not be more than 20 gigabyte. Okay, so I need to take a part of it only to be 20 gigabyte, and the other part I will make it at a fourth partition. So I will delete the volume. Okay, and then right click and make two volumes, or two partitions, which will be an E and F. This partition will be only 20 gigabytes because the image will be about 11. So I only need a partition to be smaller, or to be 20 gigabytes is fine, and we will make it recovery. We'll name it as recovery, and we will format it as NTFS. So here just I make sure that the name of the partition is recovery, because you need to be very careful, because the script, or the recovery script, will go to a partition with the name of recovery. So you need to have your partition that you will save the recovery image on it to be named as recovery. Okay, so this is the PDF, or this is the website that contain the steps for creating a Windows 10 recovery image. So this is basically I will put it in a Google Drive link and leave it for you guys to see it in details. So here, this is the steps. Okay, we need to create a partition, okay, and then we will put our Windows 10 image or the Windows 10 operating system on it. So let's name it as recovery. So let's continue, guys. And here we have one partition, and the other one we will make it as another partition. So okay, we will make another partition, so we have an E and F. So this is a way, if you need to repartition, you can do it from the disk management with the way that we are talking about, but this you need to delete the whole partition and recreate it from scratch. But there is another way to shrink and expand the volume. So here we have two volumes. The recovery, this is the one that we will save our image on, and it will be a little bit different. It will not be an image, it will be an image within an operating system. I will discuss, or I will tell you what is it exactly. So here, this is the Windows 10 operating system DVD. We will copy this DVD. Okay, we will copy this DVD and put it in the recovery partition that we have just created. So we will copy the DVD and then we will put it in the recovery partition. Okay, this is the first step, and then we will take an image of the operating system, and then we will insert this image in this copied Windows DVD files. Okay, so basically when you install this Windows after inserting your image in it, it will recover your image, something like in indirect way. But let me show you all what I mean, but just wait for a moment. Now we have copied the DVD, so now I have copied it to the recovery E partition, and then we have ejected the DVD. So here, let's go and see. Okay, this is the D partition. Now we need to restart, okay, and then take an image. So we'll restart the Windows and then take an image by a certain command, and then this image will be inserted in the copied Windows 10 DVD files. Okay, so this is the command. We will tell him to capture so and so. So here we need to capture the C drive, image of the C drive, and it will be the image will be on D install.wim, and this is the file that we will take and insert it in the copied Windows 10 DVD files. Okay, so now what we will do, we need to go and restart the machine, but we will restart it in a certain way. We'll tell him to restart it in the safe mode, or something like troubleshooting mode. So here we will click on the Windows and then go to the setting. Okay, and then we will go and tell him updates and security, and then we tell him recovery. Okay, and then we tell him to restart advanced startup. Okay, so now we'll tell him restart, and then we will go to the command prompt mode and then take an image of the operating system. It will be called install.wim. This file, we will take it and put it within the Windows 10 DVD files. Okay, so let's see how we can do this. First of all, we now tell him to troubleshoot, and then we go to the advanced options, and then tell him to go to the command prompt. So this is the thing. It will restart again, and it will ask you to provide a username and a password to access the command prompt mode. So here I have my local user, which is Kera01, so I will access the command prompt with this user. So this is a very simple way to do a recovery image partition, okay, using the Windows operating system and some scripts. It's not as easy, of course, as AOEMI, but it will do the trick. Okay, so here if we can go a little bit here, so here he will ask you to use the username. So if you can go further here, so now this is Kara off, this is the account to access the command prompt, and then we need to put the password. Okay, and then continue, and then here we need to check and see every drive. So here what I am doing here, I am checking from the command prompt the drive letters, or checking every partition in my system. So here I am checking that the C contains the operating system, and the D contains my second partition files, and the E contains my recovery image, and the F it is not filled with anything. We need to make sure that the drive letters are correct, and every drive letter contains the correct files. So we need to be very sure about this, because if the drive letters are not correct, or they are pointing to a different volume or a different partition, this will do damages, or it's not correct. So we need to make sure that the C, it is the operating system, the D, the file that contains my recovery bat script, and the E contains my recovery image, and the F it's doesn't contain any data. So we will go to every partition and tell him dir to list the contents of the partition. So we will do this now. Just wait for a moment, guys. So let's continue, guys. Here we will check that every partition has the correct drive letter as we have seen it in the Windows. So this is the C drive, and it contains the Windows operating system. This is obviously, and then we will go to the D partition and tell him dir, and here we can see that this is the D partition because it contains my recovery.bat script and .text. All of these are important because any error concerning the drive letters of the partitions, and if they are not correct and not in order, our script will fail, or it will make some failure. So here we will continue and go to the E partition and make dir or list its content. So here this is obviously also the E partition that contains the copied Windows 10 20H2 DVD files. So this is also correct. We will go to the X partition. This is the one that you are standing on, and then we will capture an image of the C partition. So we have already checked and we are confirmed that the C partition contains the operating system, and the D partition we will put our image on it, and I will tell you why we didn't put in the E partition. Okay, but now we will take an image, and this image, or the command, basically it's telling us to capture C image. So here the command, we tell him to capture the C partition, the one that we have discussed before, and put it as install.wim on the D, and name it install.wim, and name the image recovery, and put a description to this image, and to compress this image to the maximum. Okay, so, and we need to make it the same, or the same as typed here. So we make the description for the image my custom recovery image, and to name the image recovery. Okay, so let's wait and see. So here this is the full PDF that contains the instructions for making a custom image, reset image, or a custom image for the Windows. Okay, custom recovery image. So we will copy the command, and then we will type it, paste, and then, so here we are telling him to capture the C partition and put it as an image, or the capture the C partition and put the image as install.wim, and name it recovery, and make description my custom recovery image, and to compress it to the max. Okay, compress max. So let's continue. It will take a little bit of time until it takes the whole image. Here will take a little bit of time. It will take a little bit of time. So here we will wait and see what we'll do. Here it's still capturing the image. It will take a little bit of time. So here it's 100%. So now we will exit, okay, and then go to the Windows and then take this captured image and go to the recovery partition, which we have our Windows 10 20H2 DVD files, installation files are in there, and replace a file called install.wim in this DVD contents and replace it with our image file. So we replace our image file with a file in the Windows 10 20H2 DVD files called install.wim as well, so we have the same name. So we will show you all why we do this step. It will appear further, but do as I told you. So let's wait and see. So here this is the Windows 10 operating system. Just wait for a moment. So let's continue, guys. Here now we will go to the operating system. We will log in with the local administrator account. This is Kera01, the local administrator account, and then we will copy the file which is in D and it's called install.wim. We will take it and replace it with another file in the recovery partition. So let's wait and see what I mean by this, and at the end I'll show you the final result, the final result, how this will work. So we can go, and so here what we'll go and go to the D partition, okay, and take this install.wim file. We'll take this file and copy it, and before that we will go to the recovery partition and then open the sources file. So take a great look here. So there is a file called install.esd. so what is this file? When you insert this DVD into a virtual machine and try to install Windows from it, or you install, or you have a virtual machine and install and put this DVD in this virtual machine, the Windows operating system in this DVD, it is in install.esd. So this file contains the operating system on the Windows 10 DVD. So this file, it is the basic file, or this is the file that will contain the operating system. So what we will do, we will remove it and put our install.wim here. So here you can imagine when you install this or you will insert this DVD in any virtual machine and it contains our install.wim file instead of install.esd file, this will install the image that we have taken. So this is like installing Windows, but at the same time you are not installing Windows, you are installing an image. Okay, so we will show you all this step. So here we will get off this file, so you'll find install.esd or install.wim. You need to delete it and then insert our file. So we will delete the file and then we will go and copy the file that we have taken. This is our image. We will copy it and then we will go and insert it here, sources, and insert it in this place. And I'll show you all when we install this, or we go and install Windows from this DVD, you will see that it will not be a normal Windows, it will be our image of this operating system. So let's wait for 2 minutes. We can pause it real quickly. So here it is 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Now we have what we have done just a moment here. So we have finished. Let's wait for a moment. So here we have finished the installation, sorry, the replacement of the file. What here I am doing here, I am creating a text file and name it before recovery. So this file, it is in this operating system. When I restore the image, we will not see this file because it is creating after taking the image. So let's wait and see. We will create a file before recovery and name it as, we'll put this is before recovery. Okay, so we will save it and then we will go to our script. So now we have done the step of copying the install.wimp file and put it in our ISO Windows 20 Windows 10 20h2 files. So now we need to go to the command prompt and run the recovery.bat from it. So here we will go to the departition and then list the contents, and then we will run recovery.bat. So we will type recovery.bat. What this script will do, it is basically will ask us, where is your recovery partition that contains the recovery image? So we will tell him it is in the E drive. Okay, so what's happened after that? After finishing this script, when we restart the Windows, we will see in our boot menu two options, or another option will appear. Option to continue running the Windows 10 or to log into the Windows 10 operating system, or continue loading the Windows 10 operating system, or to go to the recovery partition. And by going to the recovery partition, he will initialize the Windows 10 setup, which contains our recovery image. I will show you all this step. So here we will press recovery.bat, and then he asking us to list our partition that contains our custom recovery or our custom recovery partition. So here it is the E drive. So here we will go, this is the E drive. So tell him E and then press enter. So now he will begin doing a couple of steps and then he will press any key to continue. So now when we restart, we will see a difference, or we'll see a new option appeared, or a new boot menu will appear. This boot menu doesn't appear before, but let's see what will happen. We'll tell him restart and we will see. So here we can't press F11 like we have done in the previous video, but here we will have an option to go to the recovery partition, and as soon as it will get us to the recovery partition, it will initialize the Windows 10 setup, which contains our recovery image install.wim. Let me show you all how this will be done. Just a moment. So here we will see a little bit of a difference. Here we will see that there will be something new. So let's wait and see. So here what we will see, here we will see that we have a boot menu, and we have two things: to continue loading the Windows 10 operating system or to go to the recovery system. What is the recovery system? As soon as we click on this option, it will go to the partition that contains my recovery image and initialize a normal Windows setup. But this, it is not a normal Windows setup. It will install, or it will recover our image or our operating system image. It appears to be a normal Windows 10 operating system installation, but it is not. Okay, and I'll show you all what I mean by this. But here we will see an error. If we try to click on this, it will get us an error. Okay, so how we can solve this? Here we can see that there is an error. He's telling us that I can't go to the recovery operating system or the recovery partition. So how we can solve it? We can solve it with very simple thing, what we will do, we will go and let me show you all what here. We will go and go to the operating system. Let me show you all how we can cover this error. So now we need to recover the image. How we can do this? We will do this simply by first of all, there is two ways. First, you can go to the setting of the Windows and tell him to restart in advanced options, or you can, let me show you all first where is the first option. So here what we will do, here we'll go and let me show you all. So we'll go and just a moment. So here, just a moment, what we will do here, we'll go to the, again, just a moment, we'll go to the setting, okay, and then we will tell him to update security, and then we'll go to the recovery and then to him to restart advanced startup. This is a way. Or you can insert the Windows 10 DVD to the virtual machine, virtual DVD-ROM or DVD, and boot from this DVD and tell him to go to the command prompt, okay, mode, and from the command prompt we will go to the recovery partition and set up our image or recover our image. So let's see how this is done. We will go and tell him restart. We can go very basically here we can see that it will get us to this options. We tell him to use or to troubleshoot. Here we'll go to the troubleshoot. So now we go to the troubleshoot and then go to the command prompt. So this is here to advanced options and then command prompt, and then through the command prompt we will go to the recovery partition and run the setup of the Windows. We have a copy of the DVD of Windows 10 DVD files in this recovery partition. Tell him to run the setup, and we will see after running the setup what will happen. We will have a normal Windows installation, or we will have our image restored. So let's wait and see. So here we will go to the, again, to the command prompt. So here this is the command prompt. We will choose it and then we will type the password. Okay, and then here we will go to the E partition. So now we will go to the E partition and then dir the contents. Here we will tell him to run the setup file. So after telling him to run the setup, it will initialize the Windows DVD. So now we will see what will happen. Now here we can see this is a normal installation, but actually this is not a normal installation. It will recover our image. So here we tell him install now. As we will see here, we don't have any option to choose any Windows version. Okay, so here let's see what will happen. So we can go further here. So here we will accept the license agreement and then next and then custom installation, and then here is the partition. We will format it completely. So this is the partition that contains the operating system. So I will format it completely and then we'll restore our image to this partition which actually contains our operating system. So here we will go and format this completely. We format this partition, format it, and then we'll install our recover our image to this partition. Okay, so we will format it completely, then next, and then we will begin installation, which is not installation of Windows, by the way. It is installation or recovery of our image. So now we will wait and see what will happen. So it will take a little bit of time. We can copy it a little further here. So now we'll have some time. Now it is finished installation. Let's restart and see what will happen. So now it will restart. It returns to our command prompt. We tell him exit. Okay, and then we will complete the setup. So now we tell him exit, or you don't need to tell him exit, it will restart automatically. Okay, so now it will go and complete the Windows installation. But here I need to take a little bit of a note here. So here I need to take a little bit of a note here. So now what will happen again? No, I need to go further, just a moment. Again. So here I need to go a little bit further again. So here we go, and one moment, because I need to show you all something here. Okay, here we see that there is two Windows and the recovery. This is the new Windows, okay, and this is the old Windows, okay. It is in the boot file. I will show you all a way that you can delete this entry and leave this entry, but don't bother yourself it, or don't get worried, because it will go automatic to this Windows that it is working. It will not go to this one. We can later get off this from the boot menu completely, and also to get the recovery if you need. So this is very simple. Anyway, we will continue. Just a moment, guys. So let's continue, guys. Here we will go and access our operating system, or we will continue working with the installation. What we will do here, what happens, it should get us to complete the installation of the Windows, but now we are on the login screen. So it had restored our image. So now we have restored our image. Okay, we didn't complete the installation. It should, if you are with a normal installation of Windows, we should get the username and the password and a lot of things, and to name the PC, but all of these are skipped because this is an image. So now we will continue. We will log in with our account or local account, and then what we will see, if we log in, we will see that the text file is not available anymore. So this means that our image is successful, and if we go here, we will see that everything is back to normal, and this is our image restored. Okay, so this is something, how to restore an image through the Windows 10 DVD files or Windows 10 installation files. So I think now I will restore. I have a snapshot before doing all of this, so I think I will return it back. So here what I'll do, here I'll put some icons on the desktop. So here I will go to themes and add a couple of things to the desktop. So here I go to the icons and add computer files and control panel and network. Okay, so now we are just here checking the programs, and so here we have everything installed. What I am doing here now, here I will go, and so we have everything here in order. We have all of our programs installed and everything is installed. So here we will go and get our snapshot before imaging. So I will restore my image, so I restore my snapshot before doing all of this. So I will restore it, restoring, and then at the end we will open and see that everything is back to normal before. So here we have everything back to normal. My partition has disappeared, so everything is back to normal. Hope this video is informative for you all, and would like to thank you all for viewing. Thank you so much.